Music is often seen as a form of entertainment or relaxation, but from a psychological perspective, it holds far more significance. Our interaction with music reveals a great deal about how the human brain works. Whether someone is humming a melody during a walk, using headphones to drown out external noise, or attending a concert with thousands of others, these acts are rooted in complex psychological mechanisms. Music touches emotional, cognitive, and social layers of our experience. This voiceover explores 7 psychological facts about music, not as trivia, but as insights into human nature itself. To begin, music has a measurable effect on the brain's reward system. Listening to music releases dopamine, the same neurotransmitter involved in pleasure, motivation, and learning. Studies using fMRI scans have shown that musical pleasure activates brain regions such as the nucleus accumbens, which is also active during experiences like eating favorite foods or achieving personal goals. The dopamine spike is especially noticeable when a listener anticipates a specific part of a song, like a powerful chorus or an emotional chord progression. This neurological response explains why people often repeat songs, not out of habit, but due to the reward they receive from predictable pleasure. Music, in this way, mimics the structure of other reinforcing behaviors, even though it offers no tangible reward beyond the experience itself. Another important psychological fact is that musical preferences begin forming at a young age and are often shaped by exposure rather than inherent taste. Many people believe they choose their favorite genres or artists consciously. But in most cases, musical taste is influenced by familiarity, cultural environment, and peer influence. Research shows that by adolescence, musical preferences tend to stabilize, and the songs one listens to during teenage years are often remembered more vividly later in life. This phenomenon, sometimes called the reminiscence bump, occurs because the teenage years coincide with a critical period of identity formation. The songs tied to emotional or social experiences from this period become embedded in memory and serve as mental markers for personal development. A third psychological insight is that music can temporarily alter mood and physiological states. Upbeat music can increase heart rate and energy levels, while slower music tends to reduce arousal and promote relaxation. In clinical settings, music therapy is used to help patients manage stress, anxiety, or even physical pain. For example, in hospitals, patients recovering from surgery often report lower perceived pain levels when exposed to calming music. This is not due to the music numbing physical sensation, but rather redirecting attention and reducing the subjective experience of discomfort. The same principle is applied in mental health care, where playlists are curated to influence mood states. Listening to emotionally congruent music allows people to process feelings, while contrasting music can help shift emotional states gradually. Music's connection to memory is also a notable psychological phenomenon. People with Alzheimer's disease or other forms of memory loss often retain the ability to recognize familiar songs or sing along with lyrics even when other memories have faded. This suggests that musical memory may be stored in brain regions that remain relatively unaffected by certain types of cognitive decline. Neurologically, music involves multiple areas of the brain. Auditory, motor, and emotional processing centers all contribute. This wide activation likely explains why music can remain accessible even as other faculties deteriorate. It is also why teachers and parents use songs to help children memorize information. Melodies and rhythms act as cognitive anchors that make recall easier. Another psychological effect of music involves social bonding. Humans have used music for group coordination for thousands of years, from tribal drumming to national anthems. In modern times, this continues in concerts, religious gatherings, and even exercise classes. When people move or sing in unison, oxytocin, the hormone related to trust and social connection, is released. This contributes to feelings of unity and shared experience, even among strangers. Music, in this context, functions not only as art, but also as a social technology. Choirs, for example, show improved group cohesion after rehearsals, and group music making is associated with increased cooperation in both children and adults. These social dynamics point to music's evolutionary function in strengthening group identity and coordination. Music also influences perception and decision-making in subtle ways. Background music in retail environments is known to affect consumer behavior. For example, classical music can lead customers to perceive products as more expensive or high quality, while fast-tempo music can increase shopping pace and reduce browsing time. Similarly, music in films can prime viewers to interpret scenes in specific ways. A neutral scene paired with suspenseful music feels tense, while the same scene accompanied by light-hearted music appears humorous. This illustrates how sound shapes interpretation, not just emotion. The brain does not process music and visual stimuli in isolation, but integrates them into a unified experience. Thus, music can guide perception without the listener being fully aware of its influence. Lastly, learning and musical training are strongly linked to cognitive development. Children who learn to play musical instruments tend to perform better on tasks involving attention, memory, and spatial reasoning. These benefits are not simply a result of musical talent, but stem from the mental discipline required in learning music. Playing an instrument involves fine motor coordination, auditory discrimination, and sustained focus. These skills, when developed in tandem, transfer to other domains of learning. Even passive musical exposure during early childhood correlates with improved language acquisition and reading ability. While not all children who take music lessons become professional musicians, the cognitive training involved leaves a lasting impact on brain development and learning strategies. Taken together, these psychological facts illustrate that music is not just a cultural artifact or form of entertainment. It interacts with the human mind in complex, often surprising ways. Whether by triggering dopamine, shaping identity, regulating emotion, enhancing memory, facilitating social connection, influencing perception, or promoting cognitive growth. Music reflects and reinforces key aspects of human psychology. Understanding these mechanisms does not diminish music's value. Instead, it deepens appreciation for why music holds such a universal and enduring role in human life. The next time you find yourself tapping to a rhythm or moved by a melody, it's worth remembering that your response is not random. It is rooted in a brain shaped by evolution, culture, and memory, responding logically and meaningfully to patterns of sound. In a world where noise is constant and distractions are endless, music offers a rare kind of clarity. It speaks to parts of us that words cannot reach, reminding us of who we are, what we've felt, and what we hope to become. Music is not just a background to life. It is a mirror of the mind and a compass for the soul. Whether you're learning, healing, reflecting, or simply being, let music be more than entertainment. Use it intentionally. Let it sharpen your focus, elevate your mood, and reconnect you with your deeper self. The human brain may be wired for survival, but through music it learns to thrive. So the next time a melody moves you, don't brush it off as a fleeting feeling. That moment is your psychology in action, pure, honest, and deeply human. Let music guide you not away from thought, but deeper into it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content on human psychology, self-awareness, and mental growth.